Hey you guys, my name is Brianna, which means high, exalted, noble, and strong. Today I'm making a video about you are not crazy. They are just mad because you can see who they truly are. And this is part 2. So let's get right into it. Y'all, because I knew that I had one earring in this entire video. So let me tell y'all, I've been looking for this. I've been looking for this earring all morning. And it was on my side table because I take my earrings off right before I go to sleep. And I seen them both this morning after I brushed my teeth. And I went back to go put my earring on, and there was only one there. And I'm like, what? Where is my earring? And tell me why I just finished editing. And I found my other earring on my ear. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. We in the end times. Oh, let's get to the video. One is going to be, as a chosen one, as a child of God, as a true believer, we are blessed with emotional intelligence and physical intelligence. So emotional intelligence is basically you can feel, you have enough empathy to really feel how that person feels. Like if somebody's sad, you can feel their sadness, and it makes you a bit sad with them. And then the same thing when somebody is mad, angry, mean, evil, you can feel those things as well. So pay attention to those feelings. And then on the other hand, there's physical intelligence. I believe that physical intelligence basically comes from trials and tribulations, things you've been through with people. And so it puts you in the perspective or the ability to be able to see somebody's facial expression, see somebody's body language, and be able to tell their different types of mood shifts and how they're really coming, what their true intentions are. All right, so I'm going to give you guys an example of this. So for me, when I was in training, I met a girl. We're going to call her Rhinestone. We're going to call her Rhinestone because she was a beautiful girl. She dressed nice and she claimed to be a believer in God. But what I found out in the future was that she was ugly on the inside and she was using God to manipulate things. I feel like there's a possibility she could be saved, but I don't know. She wasn't acting saved when I was around her. So let's get right into it. So me and Rhinestone had similar last names. So when they lined us up on the first day, they put me and Rhinestone, like there was like a person in between us. We were that close because our last names were that close. And so when I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh, she's pretty, she dresses nice. We might be able to be like, cool this whole time in training. She might be able to be my associate. And so it was weird because when we got in line and when we got close together, I got this off-putting feeling about her. Didn't get no feeling about the person behind me. She was actually kind of cool. And then a cool, chill person. And the person in front of me, she kind of gave that lady that was obsessed with Selena vibes. But when it came to Rhinestone, I got an off-putting feeling, like a feeling like stay away. And so I'm wondering, like, in my head, I'm thinking, like, why am I getting this feeling about this girl? This is weird. So time continues on for that day. We end up checking in right there and having to go in a room, and they group us by our last name. So we're in like an entire group that's close to our last name. And so I'm sitting near her, but we're still in a group. And so Rhinestone's a talker. So she was just setting up a whole bunch of conversations, bringing up a lot of topics while we're sitting there. Me, this is when I first started my YouTube channel. So I was editing the video, waiting to be called, and also thinking about why I'm getting this off-putting feeling about this girl. So I had all that going on with me. So when she was starting these conversations within the group, other people were responding, but I wasn't really responding too much. I only responded like 1 or 2 times, but not too much. So what was weird about the situation is by the time that we ended sitting in that group, I see like by her body posture, like she was sitting like this by the end of the thing, and I could feel that she was upset that I wasn't talking much. I could feel her shift in that instance where it was like, okay, you're not gonna talk much. I see what you're gonna do. I don't like you, and this is it for training. And me on my end, I'm like, okay, I guess that's small. It's a little weird, but I guess people do get upset sometimes when people don't talk too much. But I don't know. You're not just upset. You're angry that I'm not talking much. It's very, very weird, but it is what it is. I guess we just won't talk during training. Surprising to me, but it is what it is. So as training continues on, like the next day, Rhinestone just continues forward with just trying to ruin my experience as a flight attendant. I had made an associate group the day before the first day of training, and she went and got everybody within that associate group that I had and turned them against me. And how I know this, guys, is I would see them, I would be talking to them, then I would see them with her. When they were with her, they would not talk to me. And then after they were with her, they rarely talked to me, like rare, or they didn't talk to me at all ever again within the training. And it happened every time I seen her with them. And then after they were with them, they didn't fool with me anymore. Then it happened with everybody that was in training after that. And she even attempted to get me kicked out of training, and tried to get me fired as a flight attendant as well. So she did the most for the littlest thing. Crazy, 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 crazy. And so as time continues on, we're flight attendants now. And Rhinestone is one of those people that keeps trying to want to be a friend of me with me, act like she's my friend, and really hates me. And so she only wanted it to be her and me. Nobody, like, she wanted to turn everybody else against me, but when it came to her, she wanted to pretend to be a friend of me, which was psycho to me. So I would avoid her at all costs, stay in the Zen room, especially when she was around. And it turned into where she would follow me into the Zen room. She wouldn't stay in there too long because in the Zen room you cannot talk, but she liked to come in the Zen room and like sit behind me for 30 minutes to an hour, because that's all she could really take. And so one of the particular times I ended up staying in the Zen room the entire time she was in there, or she stayed in there for 30 minutes to an hour. And when she came in there, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, she's in here, cool, whatever, I guess. And so when she's sitting behind me, I get this feeling and it tells me, get out of the room or she's going to taint your energy. And I ignore it. I'm like, no, she can't talk in here. She can't start a conversation to throw me off and mess with me or manipulate me or get me upset. So what's the most she can do in the Zen room? And so what was crazy is after she left that Zen room and I didn't end up getting called to do a trip and I went home, my mood was off. Like I was drained. I felt emotionally upset. And I was just out of it for the rest of the night. So much so that I made a video for you guys about stay away from people who have off-putting energy because it's going to taint your energy. I was just like, if I see this girl, I'm avoiding her. If she comes in the Zen room, I'm leaving out the Zen room because I'm not doing that. So guys, be very careful with that because those energy vampires, they don't even have to have a conversation with you to just to mess with you. Like physically, mentally, and emotionally, and spiritually. So avoid those people at all costs. My last interaction with this girl was when we had a deadhead, which is basically traveling to another state to work. We weren't working the same assignment, but we had the deadhead on the same flight. And so when I seen her on the app that she was going to be deadheading with me, so I made sure I stayed away from the gate until the last minute when we were about to get on the flight. The last minute was coming up, so I walked close to the gate to be able to get my ticket and everything. And I seen she was like sitting next to a group of like senior flight attendants, but she was just on her phone and they weren't really talking to her. So I get on my phone, and when I get on my phone, she gets up and comes standing next to me. And she's like, she greets me and I greet her back because, you know, God doesn't mind me greeting people, but as for having full conversations or staying around those people, it's a no-go. It's a no-go, and I see why. And so as we're sitting there, after she greets me and I say hi, I say hi, and then I go back to my phone because it's like, it's just because we were in the same training group, you're not going to try to manipulate me to think that we're friends or we should be associates or we should speak to each other just because we're in the same training group. You are psychotic. And you're not going to do this. We're not going to play this game. I see what you are. And so I went back to my phone and I stayed on my phone, and she was like doing like body language things like, oh, you're just not going to talk. Like she was like doing like, you know, standing on her tippy toes and like doing this and things like that. Like, oh, you're just not going to talk. You're just done talking to me. Like upset that I'm not talking to her when we both know everything you've been doing to me since training. You are a psycho. Oh, we were still standing there. I ended up leaning on this little thing that was next to the gate while I was on my phone. And as I'm leaning on it, the last little thing she did that she could do to me was she pushed the thing that I was leaning on, so I stumbled. And I just like set back up, and I was just like, you know what? It is what it is. You just can't, like, this shows like you're a true psycho. Like, you are upset by the smallest things. It's weird. And it's like you're not just upset, you're like full blown angry for the smallest things, that you go into these manipulative fury events of series of events because of that. It's psycho. But yeah, that's the end of Rhinestone. Let's keep it moving, going to the next thing that they do. The next big event that I want to talk about that happens to children of God when we're out in this world is God gives us dreams and the Holy Spirit talks to us. Just like us being to know how somebody feels emotional intelligence, the Holy Spirit can also be in our ear telling us about a person too. So when it comes to we're trying to gain evidence on somebody to support us in defense of something that's going on, because it doesn't even like really matter. Like, a lot of times I will let things go. I let things go with people when they're like, I can see somebody like just did something by accident, or they got upset over something that was small, but did something but it wasn't that serious. They didn't make it that serious. They didn't go into a narcissistic rage over it. I let stuff like that go. But when it comes to somebody that is manipulative and they want to do a mental gymnastics where they calculate everything and they're trying to be after me, and God lets me know, because God will give me a dream, or that Holy Spirit will tell me what's going on. And that's when I'm upset. That's when I want to get you in trouble or get you away from me. And when it comes to you're explaining this to a supervisor, or you're explaining this to a friend that is not woken up, or you're explaining this to an associate of why you did what you did and what you're trying to do, man, oh man, it's difficult, because they're looking at the situation with blind eyes, and they can't really see what's going on because they're not seeing it spiritually. Their eyes are closed. It ends up turning out that you look like the one that's crazy, because some of the evidence that you got that's concrete is spiritual. And they don't get that, and they don't really believe in that, and they don't think that can be true. So it makes you want to distance yourself from people even more, because a lot of this stuff that people do is in manipulation, and a lot of stuff, like even like a normal narcissist, it's hard to prove a lot of the stuff they do because it's simple, but it's very effective to the person that they're targeting. So when you're trying to explain that to another person, you come off as crazy in the situation, because they strategically did everything they did to you, and it's almost unexplainable to other people. So in results, us as children of God, we gonna disappear on you, and that's how that happens. That's all I have on that topic. Gotta let us know. And a lot of times it just results in us being distanced, because people don't understand, and they're not gonna understand how many ever times you explain it, because their eyes are closed. They're looking at it with blind eyes, which is so sad. And there's nothing you could do but wait for them to wake up, and they can come back to you, or wait for them to wake up, or wait for them to go through it with the narcissist, which is probably not gonna happen, because 9 times out of 10 people be followers, and they just be getting mind whipped by them narcissists, and I just be like looking like, oh my gosh, you don't see this, you don't see this, you don't see this, and it's crazy. That's why I really think that narcissists are full-blown demons, because it's like they see the spiritual side of it, and they choose the dark side, the spiritual side, and they use that to really just be having these people mind whipped. But a true spiritual person can see it, and that's why they don't like us. They target us right when they see us. Like, I need to get them out of here. I need to get them out of here. They see me. Number 3, event number 3 that happens. It gets so tiring because it just is a repetitive thing. Like, simply me being in all the crash paths that I lived in. I saw the cycle that happens every time I meet somebody that is not spiritually woken and not on the narrow path. This is how it goes. They see your light, they become obsessed with you. They try to become your frenemy. You either call them out or distance yourself because you see what their true intentions are. They taint your name and bash your name and make you seem like you're crazy for things that they're actually doing to you. And then the last step, it becomes dangerous for you because they can't phase you because you got God working through you. So they want to end you. And then it just repeats itself when you move away and you distance yourself from them. Period. Topic number 4 is going to be, sometimes it can be us. We can actually be tripping. We're not crazy, but we can actually be tripping sometimes. And here's like a few reasons why this happens. Number 1 being 9 times out of 10 we're correct about people because all the evidence we have, the emotional intelligence, the physical intelligence, we have the dreams, we have the Holy Spirit in our ear. And sometimes we can get that mixed up and actually be wrong that one time out of the 9 times out of 10. We can mess up and actually be wrong that one time. It's rare that this happens, but it does happen. And I can't lie. I've been woke for almost 2 years and it's happened to me, I don't know, more than a handful of times. I can actually be tripping sometimes. And so number 2, a reason why this can happen is, y'all, we go through it. We have life-changing events happen to us, things that people do not understand until they're on the narrow path. And it's rare that people are on the narrow path. And so we got things going on like we a lot of us don't speak to our families anymore. A lot of times we are lonely. We're getting out of stronghold relationships, fighting off demons that are really hard to fight off. So we're going through it. We may look presentable. We may be able to bounce back and be kind and be in a good mood. But y'all, we go through things that the normal person can't go through. So cut us some slack. Although we should be working on it and we still should be kind and loving and things like that, we go through it. And the average person cannot handle what we go through. Shoot, the strongest person can't handle the things that we go through. Only reason why we can handle it is because we have God working through us and within us. So cut us some slack. Number 3 is we're just tired, fed up, and it's gonna lead to some character building of the Holy Spirit. But I've gotten tired quite a few times too, but there's no going back. I'm just tired. There's no going back. And I'm in this to the end. But I mean, everybody's gonna get tired of fighting the biggest demons every day that a lot of y'all wouldn't even ever see, because demons don't bother people who are not bothering their system. They bother the people that are affecting the system, like me and all my other fellow people that are walking on a narrow path. We bother in that system. So on a normal day for us, they're using all these people that we're coming across who are not dealing with their own demons and using the demons that are working within those people to attack us. You know how many people you go through in a day? Why do you think that we're so introverted? Like, I'm not a real introverted. I enjoy being around people that stimulate my mind, people that are on a narrow path. But being around just anybody, I can't do it. Like, I've always been a lively person, can be around people and, you know, have real joy and fun. But I'm not going to be just around anybody that's going to not be dealing with their demons and going to allow their demons to spiritually attack me. I'm not out here to work on your demons. I can't work on your demons. You got to work on your own demons. So I'm going to distance myself because I'm not about to deal with that. But yeah, we can have that going on, y'all. Like, I just know for me personally, like, even just doing things like anytime I leave the house, go to the gym, just spiritual attack, spiritual attack, spiritual attack, spiritual attack. And it's like I bounce back, but so much of that in one go, you get tired. You get tired. And it just is what it is. We have to take what comes from y'all, so y'all gonna have to take what comes for us. That 1 time out of 10. It's rare, but it does happen. And I am always going to forgive myself for this because I got a lot going on. And I know that at the end of the day, I'm doing the real work. And the Bible does say too, from this suffering, we should find joy because we got to learn patience. It gives us the ability to learn patience in suffering. And that's why we bounce back, and that's why we go back and keep doing it, even though it's tough, because it's character building, it's patience building, because we're going to need patience in these end times, and it just is what it is. But we are going to have those them times where we do fall, because it is a lot. Anybody that's on this narrow path knows how hard it is and how hard it can be. So if that is you, forgive yourself. And if it's not you, get on the narrow path. I know it sounds scary, but I'm the most content I've ever been. I'm not always happy, not always joyful, don't always know what's going on, but I'm the most content with what's going to happen in my life as I have ever been. Period. That's all I have. Oh, no. Event number 5. I'm going to give you the reason why God does this, which was, I just kind of read it, but we still going to read the entire verse. Brothers and sisters, you will have many kinds of trouble, but this gives you a reason to be very happy. You know your faith is being tested. You learn to be patient in suffering. James 1:2-3. That's all I have to say today. I really wanted to make this video for 2 days now, and I finally made it. You guys like my video. Comment if you have questions. Comment if you have anything to add to it, because we all here for each other and we all like to hear it. I like doing these videos because I like for us to be able to hear that there's somebody else going through what you're going through. When I first started my walk, I needed these type of videos, and I found some too, but I want to be another person to be out here helping with that. And if you are going through things like this, start making videos. There's people like us that need to see these videos, y'all. But that's all I have to say. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.